Welcome to part 4 of the Marea restoration. In the last episode, we removed all the old plastic intake parts and found out that most of the parts need to be replaced. We managed to remove the subframe and the gearbox from the car. Let's see if the engine wants to come out today. If you are new to the channel, then you won't know that we bought this Fiat Marea in November last year. The last owner had it for 17 years, and due to other projects and this car needing too much maintenance, he decided to park it. The car stood still for over 5 years, and rust got the better hand of it. Nevertheless, Mark decided to buy the car, and we are trying to restore it back to factory new. This is the HLX version of the Marea and has the 5-cylinder engine with 147 horsepower and a manual gearbox.
Well guys, it's snowy, it's cold, it's freezing, but I want to continue with this rebuild or restoration, I want to call it. I want to get this engine out, so I removed a part of the cover here. A child is being murdered somewhere over there, but hey. I removed this cover and I removed the small hose for the window washer. And well, I'm gonna remove the bonnet. There's a hinge right over there, and same on the other side, and then I'm gonna remove the bonnet and then hopefully I can get the engine out. But before I need to get the engine out, there's one thing that I want to do. And it is trying to remove that rusty, I can't see it on camera, but there's a rusty engine mount over there, and behind there is a bolt that I need to get out. It is, yeah, let me turn on the light, maybe you can see it. Yeah, on the left, rusty bolt, can't get it out yet, but maybe if I pull the engine up, it might come out.
Removing the bonnet from the car is relatively easy. The bonnet is bolted in with 2 bolts on each side. Using a stick and the original bonnet holder, the bonnet will stay in its position. We then carefully put the bonnet down, hoping it will not move and scratch the paint. The bonnet did not move, so we did not scratch the paint on the wings. With the bonnet out of the way, we have more light, and now we can use the tension straps to remove the engine upwards from the car. Be careful when you are using this method, because you can easily damage the wiring or plastic hoses. Mark is using 2 tension straps, which is enough to get this engine out. With the tension straps in place, we carefully lift the engine up. Normally, and from the factory, the engine is going in from the bottom side. Since we don't have a lift, we had to improvise, and this is the best way. With the engine a few centimeters up in the air, the bolt from the bottom mount came loose, and with some wiggling, the engine is now free and ready to go out. Because we are lifting the engine up in the air, the engine wants to move forward towards the front of the car, because the radiator and aircon condenser are still attached to the car, and due to gravity, the engine hits the condenser.
So we are almost halfway there, getting this engine out. You might have noticed I'm trying to be as careful as possible. Some parts will probably break because they are old, and most parts we are going to replace anyway because, well, most parts, for example this one here, is covered in oil. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get this part off, then hopefully I can get everything out. But it is, as you can see, so tight in here. There's a tube hose here. Okay, this one is loose. but I don't want to lift. My main concern, guys, is that I don't want to get the engine out and accidentally lift the car up. Well, it's on rotten jack stands like here. So, well, the jack stands are not rotten, but the chassis is rotten. So yeah, that would be a big problem, of course. And we are working in the snow. So, yeah, it's a big recipe for success, of course. I'm gonna try to remove the clamp on this hose, or maybe I will simply cut the hose, and then the engine should come out. But as you can see, there's no space here, and there's no space there. So I'm gonna sit you guys next to the car and let me struggle getting this beast, semi-beast out. Let's go. Woohoo! Out. Now I have to remove that hose, which is some kind of vacuum for the throttle body or the air intake. I also removed or cut this hose. I hope you can see it on camera. This is known as the coolant hose of death, because it's located behind the engine, and after time it leaks, coolant drains out, you won't get a message, and well, engine toast. We will replace that. I also did it with both other cars, and then, well, let's try if we can get the engine out without pulling the car up in the air. Oh. Check, double check. This is a wiring loom. This is for the engine. Okay. Now we don't want to rip the cables apart because we can't buy the new. I was offered a coupe turbo engine loom, but not sure if I can make it fit in this car. So if you guys have any ideas, hey, you should use it, and maybe I will, but for now is one crankshaft sensor wiring is located behind here. I'm gonna undo it. Come on. I don't need to disconnect it. It's inside this wiring loom. Never mind. Never mind. There are a lot of wiring that I removed, and I simply don't know where to put it back again. But we'll see how it goes. Okay. Ready? The braking noise is the coolant radiator and the aircon condenser behind here. We're gonna replace it anyway, so that's all fine. Well guys, it is almost out, but there's an issue with the aircon pipe over here, which is basically, it's loose on this side, but it's completely strangled between the wiring for the alternator. So I'm gonna undo this bolt here for the alternator. If you don't have, if you might have never seen it, basically just one big wire here and a signal wire over here. Well, size 8 I believe, and 13. So this is a 13. I'm gonna undo this, and hopefully, probably the engine will make some movement, but we'll see how it goes. It's in the air, so it can't go anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna lower the engine a little bit. Yes, a little bit. Like that. So there's no, hopefully no more. Yeah, okay, great. Like that. This one you can go that way. And yeah. Woo. Let's get it out. Hey! Woohoo! It's snowing again. Wiring loop. Well guys, there you have it. It's snowing, but the engine is out. And everything is, well, it might need to get that part new. Because yeah, we want to restore it, and those are things that, even though you can't see it, that's ugly. I want to replace it. So if someone has it, then please let me know. The wiring, I thought the engine had a separate wiring loom. It probably does not have it. It does not have a separate wiring loom, so I'm gonna put the bonnet on top, get a cover on, and well, we'll work on the engine, because I don't want to get any water damage in there, even though it's just snow. Let's go.
This is the plastic covering the aircon compressor, and below it is the bracket holding the plastic in place. With the aircon pipe removed, we then remove the last few bolts from the compressor, and look, out it goes. With the bracket removed, we now simply remove the 2 bolts holding the alternator in place. The exhaust manifold is now coming out, and we are going to use the manifold from the Lancia Kappa because we want better sound.
Well, I forgot to record, but I've got the clutch off, which is completely worn. Very thin. It's worn, and you can also see all that, this stuff right here. Worn. And now I'm going to replace, I've removed the flywheel, so I don't have any, so I don't want to have to, we need to remove this because I want to get this engine on the engine stand. So a few bolts, then remove it, and I probably will not save this. I've got a feeling that it's worn, but not too sure. So I'm trying to remove this intake manifold, which I succeeded in, but just look at the state of that knocking sensor on the engine. It's probably the first one from the factory, I believe, but it's just deteriorating, so yeah, time for a new one. So I'm gonna gently remove the timing cover. Because I want to see how bad the timing belt is. There's one over here which is very rusty, so we'll see if I can get a different one. Yes, it's working. You can save it. You can save it. Actually, of course, it is way too old, and it's hard, but there are no visible cracks in it. So yeah, I could probably have started it but not drive it for long, because the timing belt would have snapped. So well guys, what you are looking at is the timing belt from the Marea 2-liter 5-cylinder engine. Basically it's the same as the 2.4 Abarth, just the layout. So we got the crankshafts over here, water pump, tensioner, just a pulley to guide the belt, and below there is the crankshaft pulley. So this is all driven, of course, with a few. This is a V-belt over here. There's another one for the alternator and aircon, and this is the oil pump for the steering rack. And of course we have an oil pump inside the engine, but well, the belt is looking fairly good, so I'm gonna remove everything and then we'll go from there.
We cut the V-belt in half and we remove the 6 torque screws holding the vibration damper in place. The old style ignition coils are removed, and as you can see, the engine cover gasket is leaking and the oil is getting into the spark plug holes.
Well guys, with the engine cover removed, we now have visible access to the camshafts on top, and well, the camshafts look in a pretty decent state, but it is very black inside. So the only main concern is right here. If you can see it on camera, there are some scratches on there, but it is dirty and really black, so maybe due to age, maybe there's no oil change for a long period of time, not sure. Anyways, we have it removed. The only thing that we still need to remove, guys, is this part right here, which holds the oil filter and, well, the oil pump for the steering rack, etc. But basically we've got the complete engine stripped except for the cooling part right here. I'm gonna leave that one for now. It's just one big cooling pipe going here through there to the oil cooler. Anyways, we have it stripped finally, and this is the other side of the engine, and well, this is the cooling hose of DEF, also on the Fiat Coupe, the Marea, the Kappa, the Stilo, Abarth, etc. Basically what happens due to oil leaks from the gasket over here, oil comes on here, it gets swollen, it starts to leak or burst, all the coolant drains out, and well, you're toast. And well, it is very dirty, so we need to clean everything up if you want to save this engine. And then also this is the camshaft sensor, but I'm gonna replace all the sensors. So for example, this is the camshaft sensor on top, and well, it simply broke off, so we are going to replace everything anyway. So, and this, guys, is the seal from the engine cover, and basically, oh, it's not plastic yet. Oh, it is, yeah. That's why it's leaking. It hasn't been changed in ages. So, and the main reason, guys, why the Marea is in this condition is because there was no maintenance for years and years. Otherwise, you can't do this to a engine. Oh man. Well, it is what it is. Well, guys, the main question right now is, are we going to save this engine, rebuild it, clean it, and use it for the build, or do you want to see the 2.4 engine from the multi-wagon inside the Marea? Let me know. Let me know what you want to see. We've got the engine out, finally. It was a big job, and well, I really hope that you like this video. It was snowing, it's cold, but I want to continue this build, especially for you guys, because you guys are watching it. Well, I'll see you next week. Bye.